And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Anytime you're talking about fundamentals in a market and direction, fundamentals take a little bit of time to play out.
We got crude oil today, kind of trading yesterday's value area really nicely, low to high.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good afternoon and welcome to the market recap. It's Monday, January 24th. I know you were expecting Dan. Dan's a little bit busy. Looks like he's going to be busy this week. You're going to be stuck with me for the recap for looks like the rest of the week. What can you say about a trading day like today other than just like, wow. I hope that everybody managed their risk well and was able to find opportunities for profit today. It was a pretty risky day. Lots of changes in the marketplace. Once in a while, we see these face ripping rallies after some of the big down days and down periods of time that we've been in. Just to kind of go over what the markets did today. Crude oil, we're going to look at the charts anyway, but crude rejects Friday's range, but stays in a channel, looking like a little bit of a bull flag. Anyone? Might be. The E-mini S&P and the NASDAQ both continue to bring value lower. But the question is going to be now, did we find buyers? Did we find our bargain hunters down there today? Or was it just oversold? It was quite the face-ripping rally to the upside. Both products, if you would have told me earlier in the session that they would close back above weekly kickoff low, I probably would have said you were crazy, but that is exactly what happened, where we see some pretty stiff rejection off those lows. We're going to see that again very shortly in the charts. Gold, we were talking about a possible repair day. It's pretty much exactly what we got. Euro, we had I'm calling it an almost opportunity for us to look for a long down near weekly kickoff low. Didn't get very deep into that zone. Every time we talk about a level, it's more of a zone than anything else. The 10-year fourth day one-time framing higher off recent lows. A little bit of perhaps trouble in the upside auction. Again, we're going to see that shortly. And the nat gas really maintained balance and attempted to move to the upside. It looks like it's huge volume, but don't forget it's switch day volume deeply into the March contract. If you're going to be trading nat gas tomorrow, make sure you're trading March. Feb is going to be pretty thin and very illiquid. Hello, everybody. Vince, always good to see you. Zerain, Bill, Dr. VJ, PD Legend. I haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you. Have you ever seen 5% intraday moves from negative to positive like this so quickly? It's been a while probably since I've seen that. The only thing I can think of is, did we have a day similar to this during COVID? We got pretty short there after the last few sessions, just one-time framing higher, just like falling off a cliff. At some point, we're going to get too short, and my question is it that we got too short today, or did we really find some bargain hunters down there? Only time is going to tell. I'm really impressed that the market was able to pull back and close back above weekly kickoff low. When we think about the auction process, when we're looking for acceptance of price in a certain level or certain area, I look at it through time. And in the market's time today, we did not spend a lot of time down below that weekly kickoff low. As a matter of fact, all we left down there, in large part, is rejection. So it's going to be another interesting trading day for us tomorrow, as always. Yeah, Dr. VJ, you can say that again for sure. Imanu, hello, good to see you. Cyril, good afternoon. Eagle flying, good afternoon. Sarah, good to see you. Yes, James, crazy day today. Uh, it was quite the reversal. The question is it real or is it just we got too short? Yes, Walt is loving this volatility. Very good. As far as news is concerned, most of what everybody's talking about right now is this turnaround from the Nasdaq being down to 5% to actually closing higher on the session. Just amazing. The all the other information has been about well, news wise, people talking about Bitcoin, people talking about the most important news, I think, isn't really on any of the financial, is what's going on, of course, over with Russia and Ukraine, seeing things changing from minute to minute. Talking about sending troops over there, not sending troops, talking about maintaining the diplomacy, another opportunity for us to sit down and chat together in February. Speculation as to when it's going to happen, not if. Speculation that it's not as bad as we think. It's really up in the air, and that uncertainty is certainly what has sent a chill into our markets. And again, is the reversal that we saw today going to be lasting, or is it just an inventory adjustment, which it very well could be? I mean, it was a pretty decent push to the upside. Open interest tomorrow morning will be very interesting to see what open interest did today in our equities markets. If we added a whole bunch of open interest, off this push off the downside, that could indicate that we did find buyers down there. If we don't see a big boost in open interest, that's probably going to be some short covering, especially if we lost open interest, if we got too short in the hole down there. A lot of positions being evaporated just by being offset. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to just watching what happens tonight, and of course seeing what we see on the market forecast tomorrow. It should be another really interesting day for us tomorrow. It's always interesting. These markets always are providing opportunity to one degree or another. Just always, thinking about what the market is attempting to do and how good of a job is it doing getting there. If you thought about that today, the market was attempting to go lower, but it did not do a good job doing that. What's beneath that is what we're going to be looking to figure out, if we can, tomorrow morning on the forecast. Let's take a quick look through these charts and think about what we were looking at this morning and what we ended up doing today. As always, interesting to see. All right, let's jump in. Let me change a couple of things. All right, so this is the daily in crude oil. And so obviously we've got the market moving higher. We've got a pretty deep pullback here, but it is presenting itself as a potential bull flag. We were looking at the open interest on Friday with a loss of 2,600, 2,500 approximately. So, it's not like there's new selling coming in on this pullback. It's some long liquidation, maybe some profit taking. We had a pretty deep look throughout the session today. We've really started to put like 1, 2, 3, almost 4 really decent, at least 3 decent points of contact on this channel line at the bottom here. So I'll be watching to see if we do get some information, with probably going to be more supply sided. If we run into some issues with supply, a breakout to the upside would be kind of, I think, expected. There was some question as to whether the weekly kickoff high this week was $90.50 or $95. I think it's $95. We've come a long way. We've got a nice little pullback here. If there is any news or supply issues, to me it looks like a pretty in the longer time frame charts, a pretty easy sale up to that level if we do end up accepting above the current level with a little bit of help from some of the news. 30-minute chart here. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3. We were looking at this today as what are we looking at? Are we going to look at these points of contact, or are we going to look at the overnight point of contact? Kind of looking at this as the regular trading hour points of contact. This will be another level for us to look at if we do manage to pull out of this. If we were going to put this up here, we've got a little bit more space with which to see if we can break out of our bull flag. I'm going to leave that up there. I tend to look at the 30-minute chart, including overnight sessions. This would be a first step if we accept above today's range at a potential breakout to the upside, and then a secondary breakout above this trend line tomorrow, if that is indeed what occurs. Here's the E-mini S&Ps. So, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 one-time framing days. Most of last week, of course, was all one-time framing. We got a pretty deep move down below weekly kickoff low. I did not close below it. We actually ended up closing higher on the session today. Take a look at where we are at as far as percentages are concerned. 10%, we got pretty deep down below it. Tested this swing low back here from last July, pretty deep through it. But once it was rejected, we found some buyers that came in and scooped up some of these bargains. Were we too short? Is this what that means? We'll look for the opportunity to take another look at weekly kickoff low. Look at all this shadow down here. I mean, this is excess. This is price getting too cheap and rejecting relatively quickly. So the weekly kickoff low tomorrow likely to be somewhat pivotal. Here's the volume profile from today in 8:30 till now. Opening below weekly kickoff low. We found sellers. Looked like this thing was really going to fall apart. Volume was pretty good. The most of the volume, the highest volume, was in that last 30 minutes, that 2:30 to 3 o'clock bar brought in the highest volume throughout the session today. It's not unusual for that to happen, but in the opposite direction, that's some pretty decent volume. See if we've found buyers here. Take a look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is in even deeper doo-doo, if you will. Okay, here's the daily chart. Okay, here's the 15%. Here's 20%. We got way deeper in corrective territory here. But again, the market finding buyers, closing above that 15%, closing above weekly kickoff high, actually closing higher after being down 5% today. Somebody came in and scooped this thing up. It would seem only time is going to tell. So here's that 30-minute chart. So opening below weekly kickoff low, taking a stab at closing the gap, unable to do so, has us looking for opportunities to the downside. But after we put in this low here on the 11 o'clock bar, unable to take out that low, ceasing one-time framing, the market really just did find some buyers. And Dr. VJ's talking about it, went straight to the low end of SPX expected move for the week in one day, and bargain hunters stepped in. So if those bargain hunters are stronger, bigger, longer time frame traders, they may start to protect this area, and we can see what happens. PD says that was him. He's the one that stepped in and bought all this stuff up there. PD, I hope you make $1 billion. Hope you make $1 billion. All right, let's take a look at gold. in the rest of our products here. Um, it's the store value. We've got what looks like another bull flag here. We had one here. We've been kind of putting up some of those bull flags. Got one here, another one perhaps here. Unable to take out the high of it. Volume off a little bit here as we try and continue this move to the upside. Friday lost 3,800. Not like new sellers came in on a lower high and a lower low. We've got basically a higher high and a higher low today. What's it look like on the 30-minute chart? If you remember this morning on the market forecast, we were talking about the fact that the market was going to be opening in range and in value, and that we had a high volume node here and we had point of control up here, also another high volume node. Maybe there was an opportunity for this market to trade to both of them and to spend a day in repair, which is, I think, exactly what we got. Now we've got 1, 2, 3 points of contact, 1, 2 points of contact down here in what might end up being a bull flag. I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm just like, it's going to be hard for me to sleep tonight. Here's the euro. We were really looking for an opportunity at our weekly kickoff low to get an execution. I'm calling it a near miss. I probably, if I was focused on the euro today, would not have taken that execution. It did not get close enough into the zone or to the weekly kickoff low, which is 112.94. We got to 113.0150, so about 10 half ticks, almost there, not quite. Take a look at the 30. So here's our opportunity, relatively close, just not close enough. We opened with a gap. We still did not get the gap closed from Friday to yesterday. A pretty decent attempt at it. We're still range bound and short time frame controlled. Let's see what the 10-year did today. So 1, 2, third day one time framing higher. Pretty decent moves on the upside here. We did lose 5,100 on this move to the upside. I'm a little bit concerned for this very short time frame rally we've got going here, as it is showing signs of exhaustion. Here's the 30-minute, just really coming off in the last couple of hours. Put the profile on. So just trying to hold above that weekly kickoff, unable to really maintain it. And it really just after the close, after that 2 o'clock close, really coming back into value and range from Friday's session. So this attempted move to the upside, always be thinking, what is the market attempting to do, if anything, and how good of a job is it doing? Didn't do a very good job today. To the Nat Gas, here's the daily. Not a very exciting session today in the Nat Gas. A little bit of an up move to it, but not tremendous. Nothing really to lean on for targets or entries. Take a look at the 30. I mean, we can see that we're in this area of balance here. Rejected above it, back inside it. Try and stay patient. Blah, blah, blah. Not going to do that. Not going to do that to me. Nat Gas 30, there it is. So we've got a pretty decent channel set up here. We know that Dan likes to see these channels and prefers to trade close to the extremes of those channels, which is always a good idea. Always a good idea. So where do we go? Well, we kind of put in the upper part of this channel now. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4-ish points of contact on the downside here. We've been kind of looking for a move to the upside to kind of cap this off. So again, we're going to be looking for opportunities at the upper extreme and the lower extreme until something changes. So I'm absolutely excited and kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Edgy, but trying to stay patient for the opportunities I think that we're going to see this week. The job of being a trader is we really want to close every day, finish every day positive. Positive. We don't want to risk, we don't want to lose a lot. We want to try to close every day positive. And if we can do that, we're going to be just fine. So make sure you manage risk and everything like that over and over again. This day in history, 1965, Winston Churchill dies. 2006, Walt Disney announces a $7.4 billion purchase of Pixar. Pixar, of course, Toy Story, Monsters, Inc., Finding Nemo, The Incredibles. Great, great movies. Now, as of 2006, 2007, part of Disney. 1935, the first canned beer goes on sale. Beer was always in bottles up until that point. And in 1848, on this date, gold discovered at Sutter's Creek. So the San Francisco 49ers are going to be again playing next week. Yeah, it's about the fun stuff here. I always like to go this day in history. Aaron Neville was born on this day in 1941. Also, Neil Diamond, same day, same year, 1941. Ray Stevens, also same day, same year, 1941. 1947, everybody's American Werewolf in London writer Warren Zevon. 1949, John Belushi, born on this day. And that's about all that I know. As far as other things, the Doors, 1969, played at Madison Square Garden. They were paid $50,000 for that show, made them one of the highest paid acts of the year. Led Zeppelin appeared at Leeds University in Leeds, England. It was under this show that when Led Zeppelin met there with a fine arts lecturer to discuss their ideas for the album sleeve for the band's next album, Led Zeppelin 3. One of my favorite albums of all time, as well as one of my favorites from Led Zeppelin. And it's about all I can find. That probably a lot more here, but that's about it for that. Yes, today was intense. Absolutely. So, Finding Nemo, you may be right. We do have to remember it is FOMC on Wednesday. There will be a lot of posturing and hedging going on between now and 1 p.m. Central on Wednesday. It's a really good thought. Got to remember these things. Three Lions, Frozen, should be a fun week. Absolutely. All right. So I think that's going to be it for me. I am going to kind of disengage now. It's a busy day, and be ready for tomorrow. I suggest you do the same thing. Get yourself a nice meal tonight. Get a good night's sleep. Start early tomorrow. Do your homework. Set up your hypotheses. Think about your strategy or your plan around those hypotheses, and I'll see you at 7:45 for the market forecast. Until then, if you're trading tonight, make sure you keep your powder dry. There's opportunities perhaps tonight, maybe bigger opportunities during the day tomorrow. Anything else? I think we're in good shape. We'll see you in the morning. Again, be good to yourself, be good to each other. As Dan says, wash your hands, and we will see you in the pit tomorrow morning. Have a great night.